All right, what is up, everybody? Divine Hood here, coming at you with another daily update on Bitcoin in the crypto markets. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in, Quiles 1100. Welcome in, Time Attack, Anna, Bitcoin, Bitech Club. Welcome in, guys. So here we go. We got Bitcoin seeing a bit of a bounce and a back test of our value area low of our range that goes back about 7 weeks now. And this is a pretty important thing that's happening. We're also flipping our anchored VWAPs, our key anchored VWAPs that last time we came up into those anchored VWAPs, we saw that rejection. We are flipping them now to support and continuing to push our way to the upside here. And I do think that Bitcoin can come a little bit higher. In yesterday's video, I described this situation exactly based off of the low time frame bear divs that we were seeing in this rising wedge that we had in here. I was talking about, actually, let me zoom into the 15-minute chart here. A rising wedge structure to come up to hit the 0.65 golden pocket, then to see those bear divs play out to where we come back down and back test that value area low. And if it holds, I expect this to move up to our next level of resistance, which to me is the key resistance above. That if we can break above this resistance, then the low might actually be in, and we might be seeing some bigger moves to the upside, new all-time highs coming. Okay, so let's get rid of that. So yeah, you can see here Bitcoin holding the value area low after rejecting from that golden pocket, and we are pushing up. Now we have to be aware that a range could form here, and already we have a little bit of a range in this general area. We could see this range continue for a little bit, but with the money flow that we're seeing on the charts on Market Cipher B and even on Nami's crossing up into the green again on the hourly chart, we could see this rally continue very locally here. And this purple box above us is the key resistance that I'm interested in. So I covered this a little bit in yesterday's video, but we have a lot of confluence of resistance up here, far more than we had at our golden pocket. And so if we look at some of that resistance, we do have a new naked weekly point of control up there at about 115.8. We have a naked daily point of control at 115.6, and then we have a daily level also at 115.8-ish, 115.750. We have the 786, and we have the top of our descending channel. And so there is a lot of liquidity above, or a lot of levels of resistance above, a lot of confluence above, where if we are going to see a lower high come in on the charts, that would be the area that I would be expecting for that lower high to potentially come in, and overall to just continue trading within this descending channel, to continue kind of grinding down here. And we're also still keeping in mind the bigger WXY complex correction that is still probable, with the W here, the X here, and then a Y wave coming down to that 105K, really getting people really bearish that the bear market is coming, and we could see an impulse out of this up to start impulse to start coming to new all-time highs, to get one more all-time high for this bull cycle. So that's kind of what I'm watching for. This reclaim is good. Today, we want to close this daily candle above the 112,770-ish level. This is the value area low on Coinbase, 112,770. And if we can close that daily candle above that, I do think we will see a move up to that 786 area. Now, once we get up to that 786 area, it's going to be very, very interesting, because we could be developing some more bear divs on the chart here. And if we do see those bearish divergences on the chart, higher highs in the price action, lower highs on the momentum waves, and our money flow is still coming out here, that would be a really good short signal for me. And I would look for a short, potentially holding that short open to come all the way back down to 105K. And so that's my plans over the next week or so, to kind of just watch the key levels. Of course, as traders, we do not know what Bitcoin is going to do. We can predict all we want. We do not know what Bitcoin is going to do. So we map out our levels of interest, we mark them out, and we wait for confirmation. Once we get to those levels, we wait for confirmation. You take the trade if there is confirmation. Let me check the chat here. Welcome in, everybody. Bitcoin going to 142. You know, it could. I do think that based off of this move down here, one more all-time high is probable. Now, is that going to be a running flat where you do not take out the lows here? And that would be a running flat here, and then we're done and we're going to push up? Or are we going to see that bigger WXY play out? And in your Y wave is usually your most aggressive here. You're going to see that bigger ABC correction, or you can even come up to the 786, an ABC correction all the way down. And the minimum you'd want to see is taking out those lows at 107.2K. Now, after we get to this area, and you can see our anchored VWAP from the 74K lows is getting higher and higher. So by the time we get down, it might be kind of coming up close to the SFP of 107.2. If we SFP'd into that anchored VWAP and held it, then we might not actually come down to 105K. So that's something that we'll have to watch for as this data develops on the charts. But we kind of know what we're looking for. And also, I want to talk about the local price action really since Sunday, since the beginning of Sunday. You know, over the weekend, of course, we had very, very slow Saturday, pretty much just grinded completely sideways here for most of Saturday. But on Sunday, you could see we actually reclaimed that channel midline, back tested that channel midline, and that's when we got the big push up to the golden pocket. And this move up has been pretty interesting here because we can look at it of two ways. What we want to see if it's going to be a corrective move, because this is, we could count this as a very clear 5-wave move down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if this was a 5-wave move down in a larger ABC correction, let's throw that ABC on there. Just, you know, this is your A wave here, B wave, and then a C wave. Let's just put it, the SFP, you could come down to 105K, but somewhere like something like that. Within the A wave, you want to see a 5-wave impulse to the downside. Within the B wave, you want to see a 3-wave corrective move. Generally, a 3-wave corrective move, usually rejecting from golden pocket 7.8 or the 786. Most common targets are golden pocket 786. Sometimes that 0.5 Fibonacci will reject you. And then you want to see another 5-wave impulse down in your C wave to finish your overall Y of the more complex higher time frame WXY correction. So the thing is with that though, if we zoom in to this price action from Saturday, Sunday, from the weekend, we can see that we might have the potential for a 5-wave impulse here. And if this is going to be a 5-wave impulse, then we can no longer look at this as a ABC correction to the downside. We'll have to start looking at this a little bit differently if this is impulsive. And I have to say right now it is looking like it is more probable that this is a 5-wave impulse to the upside. And that means that this could be the low. This could be the low, and we could be about to shoot up here. I don't know which situation is going to play out, so I just get ready for both scenarios. And if we pull our Fibonacci and we go from the lows of wave 3 to the highs of wave 3, and we look at our wave 4 bounce targets. So your wave 4 targets are between the 0.382 and that 0.5. Well, where do we bounce absolutely perfectly? From that 0.382. You can see touched it to the exact dollar last night, bouncing from that 382. And now we're attempting to see one more push to the upside in a small 5-wave impulse here to come up to our resistance. But that would overall give us a bigger 5-wave impulse here. And if that is the case, I still am expecting some sort of rejection from this area. Say that 5-wave impulse finishes here. Then after that, we could look for a 3-wave corrective move down to the golden pocket. And this golden pocket down here, let's just pull a theoretical golden pocket from the lows. To the highs. Okay, what's going on here with this? And if we look at that golden pocket, let's turn that golden pocket on. Now that's our current high, but let's bring it up to let's throw it right in the middle of the box. This golden pocket around 111K, 111.3 to 111.145-ish would be an area where we could look for that higher low to come in and a really big rocket to the upside. So we have our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 reject from here. We would want to look for a 3-wave corrective move down to that golden pocket. And once we hit this, you could see a big explosion to the upside. Okay, that is kind of what I'm looking at here. We're starting to form a little bit of a range in here. We can even play this range if you're an intraday scalper. You can play that range. But let me check the chat here, see how everyone is doing. Gonna hold off on remortgaging the house until I give you a signal. Well, time attack. I do think the bear market is close. I really do, based off the high time frame resistances. Bearish signals that we are seeing, but we don't know. You know, this cycle maybe is going to be the first cycle that's truly different based off of that institutional money getting in. With all the resistance, we could see some interesting price action. Won't be easy trade if we are looking for a short. Yeah, I agree. Right now it's not as clear as we would like it to be because of this push up that we saw really Sunday and Monday. That push up that we saw is muddying the waters a little bit. And so we have a couple different scenarios. Of course, as a trader, we look at both the bullish and the bearish scenario, and we don't know which one is going to play out, but we get ready for both of them and we execute on whichever one triggers with confirmations. But yeah, and we also do have to remember there is some macroeconomic stuff going on in the news as well with the potential government shutdown. And if there really is a government shutdown or any prolonged government shutdown, we could see that as a kind of black swan that could crash the markets as well. So we are going to be aware of that in the next week or two, if that's going to get worked out. On the other hand, if a last minute deal gets approved, if it gets done, then that could be bullish catalyst for some upside to come in. What do you think about BTC to 60K in the bear market? I think, Tim, I think 60K is absolutely possible in the bear market. Actually, I think we could come all the way down and hit 40. Yeah, the low 40s even. Let's go to our daily time frame here. Actually, let's go to the weekly time frame. And you know, I do think we could come way down to the bottom of the pitchfork, and you could see if depending on how quickly we get down there, we could be coming all the way down into those 50s, you know, high 40s, low 50s there, coming down here. Or you know, if we break this pitchfork down, that's going to be a big deal. But we're not there yet. We are still in bullish market structure, and until we start to break market structure bearishly on some higher time frames, I'm not too worried. So like one of the big levels that we're going to be watching is that bullish break of market structure at 98.2. If we break the 98.2 market structure bearishly, that's going to be a high time frame break in market structure, like a weekly break in market structure, and that is when we can start getting concerned, is if we see that. BTC will pump while ETH really wants that 3,500 and then pump. Yeah, you know, I'm so hoping ETH gets down to 3,500. I really am. We did bounce from the first major box. Let me go ahead and zoom in on Ethereum here. I mean, we did kind of come down. We hit that first major box of support and that macro 382, and it was a nice little 3-wave corrective move down there, finishing in that 5-wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave impulse. So the low could be in on ETH, and we could be about to really rally in our final weekly fifth wave to push up to like 5,200 or higher. But I would really like to see now in this, we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have our 5-wave. I want to see some sort of 3-wave corrective move, potentially coming up to that 4296 area. You can see that with the point of control of that range is there as well that we broke down. And then we would see another 5-wave impulse to the downside, creating the larger ABC correction, a 535, and then get it. That's what I would prefer to see. And I guess I just want that long from down there. But we'll take a look at ETH2 a little bit later and see what is probable for Ethereum right now. Okay, and AVAX, Sui, and Sol registered to be analyzed. Yeah, we'll look at all those AVAX, Sui, and Sol. I think they're all interesting coins. I actually do trade those coins, and so yeah, we'll take a look at those. What is Gib Bud? I sorry, man, I'm not sure what that is. What scenario do you think is more probable? Thanks. Also, can you look at Portal? Right now, more probable to me is that we are going to see one more low below 107.2. Like, to me, that's the most probable scenario. But what has developed specifically yesterday and what's happening right now and overnight is starting to change that, because if this is going to be a 5-wave impulse here, that is going to change everything. And so, yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on this price action here. What's up, R Pink? Welcome in, man. Thank you so much for joining. BTC doesn't drop past previous cycle lows, though. Yeah, you're right. In the past, BTC has not dropped past its previous cycle lows. So we'll see. We'll see. But the previous cycle on Bitcoin, I think the previous cycle lows were 15K, right? Or this cycle's lows. Do you mean the previous cycle's highs? We had this was a high, dropped down, came back up here. I guess we did drop below our previous cycle highs a bit. And, if this is our previous cycle's highs at 69K, yeah, I think we could absolutely drop below 69K if we go through a real bear market. I do, personally. Okay, so let's go ahead and analyze what's happening with Bitcoin right now. We're seeing that bounce from the value area low. Very nice to see. We did have a small rejection earlier today from that VWAP. And when we came back down here and bounced, I actually took a little bit of a scalp long here earlier today. And I'm looking to take at least 50% of the profits when we break the highs from yesterday. But I'm going to hold the other 50% open until we get to that resistance and see what happens there. But money flow looks pretty good here on Market Cipher B. Same on NAMI. NAMI's crossing up into the green. And then if we go to the 15-minute chart here, you can see that money flow is nicely curving to the upside. And on NAMI, it's curving to the upside very nicely as well. There is potential for bear divs. If we do get a quick push up and we see something like this top out here, then we would see those bear divs regionally on the 15-minute. With your money flow kind of exiting out. Now, we would want money flow to start curving back down again as we're coming up into that 786 area of resistance, our purple box of resistance. Okay, 5-minute chart. Yeah, and we could even just look at trading this range that is kind of developed since yesterday. You could pull a volume profile, look at this range here, and we're back inside the value area low of the range. So it is probable that we at least move up to the point of control of that range. Let's also pull a little 5-minute golden pocket here. And we're coming actually up to the golden pocket right now. I would say that 786 in this case is going to be a little bit more important because we do have the point of control and the larger golden pocket right up there. So that 114,389, 114,400-ish is going to be important here. No real bear divs on the 5-minute time frame. Money flow looks pretty decent here. Let's zoom out onto some of the higher time frames now. Come on, Market Cipher. Money flow is crossing up into the green here on the 8-hour chart on NAMI, and we did have those bull divs confirmed. Lower lows in the price action, higher lows in the momentum waves here on NAMI, with the money flow steadily rising to the upside from that low. And the 8-hour is a really, really good time frame to look at some of these more intermediate time frame bull divs with money flow. On NAMI it's quicker. So this is really nice to see that. And for me, it does tell me that we could come a little bit higher here. Okay, let's check our order flow charts right now. So on the 15-minute time frame, now your CVD is all over the place. You can see shorts, longs stepping in earlier today. Those longs got squeezed out right away because we kept dropping. They looks like they longed a little bit too early in this area here. And now we're pushing up above the VWAP, flipping what was intraday resistance earlier today. You could see rejection, rejection. Now we're breaking above it. And if we do reject very, very locally from that golden pocket, let's go back to the 12-minute chart. If we do reject very locally from that golden pocket, then watch for the VWAP now to be flipped to support. And the VWAP is going to be right where that value area low is. Actually, Trading View has been all over the place today. Come on here. All right, guys, I'm just going to reload this real quick, see what is going on here. There we go. Yeah, so breaking above VWAP, breaking above the two anchored VWAPs, the very two key important anchored VWAPs, and holding the value area low of our range on the bullish back test earlier this morning. And right now, there's not really too much going on. Very, very locally, we are seeing bullish CVD absorption. Let's zoom back into the 5-minute chart here. And you can see here very, very locally, coming up into that very small intraday golden pocket, we see higher lows in the price action, lower lows in the CVD, and our open interest is steadily increasing. So we're seeing bullish absorption as we're coming up into that local golden pocket from yesterday's high to today's low, or the low last night. About to hit into that golden pocket. So just like this the bigger golden pocket, we saw a small pullback. We hit into the golden pocket up here, saw a small pullback to back test the value area low, and now we're continuing to push. Very similar here. If we hit into this golden pocket, reject because of the bullish absorption, maybe a pullback to that VWAP, and then continuation here. Okay, let's see. Oh wait, let's see. Small typo before all-time high. Okay, all right, let's go into Ethereum real quick. Ethereum. Now, just like I just described earlier, Ethereum did come down to one of our major targets. You know, we had this box laid out, mapped out way ahead of time. Ethereum came down, hit this target. It was the 1.236. If we're looking at a larger ABC, or not ABC, but a complex correction, and we take that trend-based Fibonacci extinction from the highs to the lows to the highs. What's going on here? You can see we hit that 1.236, and we are bouncing, but we also hit the macro 382. Hit that macro 382, and now we're pushing up here. And the key area for me, if we're going to see a rejection and continuation down, is this 0.5 Fibonacci. Then I would like to see a rejection from this general area. It's the point of control of the range that we broke down from. You could pull this range a couple of ways. You could pull it back to this area here. Doesn't change it. It's the same volume profile. And if we can reclaim 42.96, I think we have a straight shot up to the naked weekly point of control daily. We have a golden pocket. Golden pocket's at 4,400. There was something else there at 4,400 as well. Let's see. Okay. Oh, on the other chart, the golden pocket, we have the top of the pitchfork band. So this pitchfork band actually, this would be the first area where I would be interested in potential rejection. Obviously, always the golden pocket is interesting for rejection. Now, just above that golden pocket, we do have that naked weekly POC and a daily level, and also a naked daily POC up there as well. You can see that naked daily POC is up there as well. Pretty much right on top of it. But if we look at this pitchfork, we bounced from our weekly level. Actually, I'm not sure. I think that's a fresh weekly. Let me check on that. No, that was a weekly level that we busted straight through, and then that's why we left it on the chart. Is because if you bust straight through it, oftentimes you'll come back to back test it if there was no initial reaction here. So got that bounce from the weekly level. And what's really key here is we're trying to reclaim, get back inside of this band. And I talk about this a lot, guys. We form these ranges inside of these bands, ranges around the bands or inside the pitchfork bands. But if we look at what happened here, we have now reclaimed the band, back tested it, made a new high after taking our local liquidity, very local internal liquidity of this range. Took the liquidity of our local range before this last breakdown, and then we came back down, back tested it again, and now we're holding that right now. Holding that band of support. We could come wick a little bit lower. Let me actually throw that back on there. So this SFP of this local low from yesterday, we could come down to SFP that and still overall hold the bullish backtest of this pitchfork band. But if we hold this bullish backtest of the pitchfork band, then I think we have a very high probability of making it up to the golden pocket. Actually, 0.5 first. If we don't reject from the 0.5, then the golden pocket. 42.96, 42.93 on Bybit. Either way, it's right where your point of control is at of your range that you broke down from, your 6-week range that you broke down from. And if we can get back above that point of control, then next would be the golden pocket up here. It's at the top of the pitchfork band. And oftentimes, if you reclaim the bottom of the pitchfork band, you will move up to the top of the pitchfork band, and then you could form that range that's in there. What's up, Halloween? Every move happens in my sleep and wake up and now they stop moving. Yeah, ZC, I feel you, man. It does seem like that sometimes, huh? False Prophet, what's up, man? Welcome in. It's good to see you. What's up, Big Deals? Thank you guys for joining. Thank you for popping in here. But overall, guys, on Ethereum, remember the overall higher time frames on Ethereum. If we zoom out to like the 2-day chart on Ethereum, we're looking for that new huge 5-wave impulse to be completed. Wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, and we were looking for a 3-wave zigzag correction either down to the 382 or either down to that 0.5 to get that last 5th wave to come up and actually make real new all-time highs. We have hit now with hitting that 382 last Thursday, excuse me. We have now hit the minimum target of that macro 382. That was why we had this box here. It was the 382 and then the bottom of the pitchfork band, the top of the pitchfork band, excuse me. And I do have to say, so far, this does look like it could be a bit of an impulse. If we get a 1-2, 1-2, this could be a 3, and then we're going to see a 4-5, 4-5 in here, a little bit of an impulse. What we don't want to see is a big 3-wave corrective move and then start dropping here. So breaking market structure would not be good right now. I wouldn't, unless it's just a small SFP of these range lows from yesterday. If we start to actually lose these lows, that could be a bad sign. All right, let's check this here. So we got that weekly level. Yep. Okay, we've got a weekly level up here as well. I believe that is marked out. Yeah. Okay, and then daily level. I have not marked this one out yet, but there's a daily there at $4,000. So yeah, guys, for Ethereum, I do think that we're going to continue up to that 0.5 Fibonacci at the very least. Oh, actually, okay. So if we're looking at this, actually, we have hit the 0.5. If we're looking at this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to make one more low, then we actually have come up to that 0.5 Fibonacci and hit that 0.5 Fibonacci. Took the local liquidity earlier this morning or yesterday, wherever you're at in the world. And we do not want to start to drop here. If we start to drop here, then I do think we will come make new lows below last Thursday's low. So pay attention to that 4084 level. If we start to break this 4084 level to the downside, that is going to be a bearish break in market structure. And then if we get that bearish break in market structure, now we can look for a lower high, short that lower high, and wait for this push down to make new lows below this guy. I do have to say, what we're seeing so far on the charts is the push that we've seen so far. If we turn on our volume, this is concerning. This should be concerning to you if you see this kind of ascending channel type structure in here. Volume is getting lower and lower and lower. Now, yes, we are seeing some volume kick in a little bit today, but overall that volume is getting lower and lower and lower, and that could be a telltale sign that this is a kind of relief rally or dead cat bounce before seeing another push down. But yeah, the levels I'm interested in, of course, it's a bit muddy because we do have, right above the golden pocket, we have very strong resistance, being that naked weekly, naked daily, and a daily level at 4482. But around that 4400 level as well, because of that pitchfork band, that the upper band, upper part of the upper band of the pitchfork is up there. And because we are reclaiming the lower part of the band, there is a potential we could work our way up to that upper part of the band. Okay, let's go into AVAX real quick. Now, guys, on AVAX, we did bounce from, or we did reject, excuse me, from our macro key resistance. We talked about this all last week, so if you guys want to know more in depth on that, you can go watch last week's live streams. But I'm not going to go too deep into it today, just to know that that was the actual major rejection area we were looking at. If we look at, the breakout of our accumulation, this was our accumulation here, our big daily accumulation range, broke out of it. When you break out of it, you expect to work your way up to your next major resistance. We came up to that next major resistance. We saw the rejection with bear divs on the chart finally coming up and taking out that liquidity, that internal liquidity there. And now we have dropped and we have broken market structure on the daily time frame. So let me actually just clean this up real quick. We broke these lows here on the daily time frame. So that is a bearish break in market structure. Because we broke market structure bearishly, we have to now watch for a lower high to come in. And if we're looking for that lower high to come in, then we're going to be looking at our golden pocket 786 area. So let's go zoom in. Yeah, that 32.69 to $33 pretty much is going to be the area. And then we can also pull a volume profile and we can look at this upper range here, and that's the value area high of that range. We did hold the value area low. Now we're trying to reclaim the POC. And if we reclaim the POC, then I do think we're going to see that move up there. But we have to be aware that this could be 1, 2. We could see a big third wave pushing down here. The one problem I see with that is this here. It's very hard to count a 5-wave impulse in here. That looks more like a 3-wave corrective move. And in your wave 1, you want to see a 5-wave impulse. So we could be looking at this whole thing as a flat. Your A wave here, your B flat, then your C wave comes down. That was your flat correction. And now the flat correction is done. Are we going to take off again? As far as larger time frames goes, if we do see a big breakdown, a more big breakdown, remember, we want to come down to this $26 area. And that is very key for a couple reasons. We have our accumulation range down here. That was our multi-month long accumulation range. We broke out of that accumulation range. And when you do that, you expect to move up to major resistance. Well, we rejected major resistance. We broke market structure bearishly by breaking that daily low. And coming down and hitting this support level is a very big test, because if you come back inside of this accumulation range, if you find reacceptance back within this fair value, that is not going to look good for AVAX. It's going to be a failed breakout, failed expansion of your accumulation, and then you could see that, move maybe even all the way back down to the bottom of your accumulation range. But if we can come down here, hold that back test of $26, which is also your golden pocket, then we'll probably see new highs above that $36 high that we just saw, and probably come up to even this like $45 area, $45 area. I am still looking for potential swing long at that $26 area, with it being the value area value area high of our accumulation breakout range and the golden pocket. BTC pumping hard and ETH barely moving if BTC starts dropping. Okay, let me check Bitcoin real quick here. Is it pumping hard? Yeah, we're coming up into that golden pocket. Actually, we're attempting to break that local golden pocket. And remember, we were seeing that bullish absorption happening. And now we're starting to see that squeeze happen. So I covered this literally 15 minutes ago. Bullish CVD absorption happening, coming up into the golden pocket. And now we are starting to see those shorts getting wrecked. And that's why you're seeing your open interest drop here now, because they're getting stopped out, squeezed out. A short squeeze is happening right now. The short squeeze could continue, guys. Be aware that. Remember that local 786 above us, we do have the value area high. So if we throw on 786 as well, and then we throw on that range, value area high is close by. But yeah, we need to watch out for that short squeeze to continue pushing up. Money flow looks pretty good on NAMI and on Market Cipher B. Money flow looks good. Okay, let's get back to. Actually, I want to check Bitcoin dominance out real quick. Let's see how Bitcoin dominance looks. Ooh, okay, very interesting, guys. Bitcoin dominance is now trying again to reclaim this larger golden pocket. Now, remember, this is a bearish golden pocket. Let me pull this. Yeah, we're breaking out of this small bottoming range. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so to recap for Bitcoin dominance, we came up into the top of our 2.5 year long channel, hit up into the top of that 2.5 year long trend. For most of the bull market, Bitcoin has been the star of the show. Rejected, bounced from the midline, took out the liquidity, and then we saw the bearish break in market structure. So that was very key. This break of this low was key, that we could see a bit of an altcoin rally. And bounced from the bottom of the channel, but couldn't reclaim those lows really, and we dropped. Now, when you drop, you're looking for a bounce between the golden pocket and the 786. But if you lose the golden pocket, you really do want to actually come down to that 786 and touch it. Yes, in between is a level of interest, but really touching that 786 is what we wanted. And so when you pull that golden pocket from the last big daily lows to the highs, you can see, yeah, that's that golden pocket there. We've lost that golden pocket. And we actually lost it, back tested it, and then made new lows. Not touching the 786 though. What is interesting here now is that we are breaking out of this small range that we've seen the past week that was down here, and we're attempting to break back above the golden pocket here. So yeah, this could be a little bit bearish. I mean, Bitcoin could run a bit against some of the altcoins. And if it does, I have to say we could look all the way up to the golden pocket pulled from the highs to the lows of this crash, that golden pocket. And that golden pocket, actually, you can see here, very interesting internal liquidity right into that golden pocket. Anytime you see a swing failure pattern into a golden pocket, pay attention to it. It would also be the bullish or the bearish backtest of that channel after losing that channel. So you'd either reject there and you would get a much bigger drop, or you would reclaim it and then continue with really good dominance for Bitcoin. Bitcoin stealing the show again. And the reason why we're looking up to that golden pocket, you could say this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave impulse completed to the downside. Now we're going to look for that bigger 3 wave corrective move up to the golden pocket. And then we could see another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming down and actually finally hitting that weekly channel midline at 55%. So over the next week or so, we could see Bitcoin rally against the altcoins. Yeah, it's bearish for the alts right now. You're right, Time Attack. It does look bearish for the alts, especially if we close today's daily candle back above this golden pocket. I think it's going to be a pretty big signal because, see, we got above it, we back tested it here, and now we're trying to push up here. Sudeep, welcome in. It's good to see you here. Yeah, we'll do Portal. We'll do, so we just covered AVAX a bit. We covered Portal or Ethereum. Let me go into, let's see, what was it? Sui. Sui and Solana. Yeah, yeah. Okay, for Sui, we are still in this descending channel overall. Let me clean this up. We did get that bounce from here and almost worked your way up to that resistance. So I'm going to delete that box now. That was good for a scalp. The big thing on Sui is we're flipping that anchored VWAP that was holding a support. You can see we came up to it, we rejected from it. And what I do not like about this push that we're seeing is it does look like a corrective channel before we could break this thing down and actually come down to hit to SFP our lows. Actually, we did SFP the lows, so never mind on that. We SFP'd those lows, but that would mean we'd probably come down to our next support box between 295 and 289, being that naked daily point of control, naked weekly point of control, golden pocket, and the channel midline. We did come up into that resistance with the bear divs, and we were expecting a rejection from this area. So we got that rejection. Now, after getting that rejection, we did break market structure bearishly. Whether you want to say it's a bearish break in market structure here, or you could even say, hey, on larger time frames, we even broke market structure bearishly. Even though it was only an SFP, we did break market structure bearishly. Because we have broken market structure bearishly, we need to look at the golden pocket now here at 365 to 363. I do not like where that is at, though. That golden pocket, actually, I don't like where it's at because we would be back inside of this range that goes back to July 10th. So almost, a month and a half long range, 6, 7 week long range. we'd be back inside the value area, and then also we would be breaking above the macro range POC, the more macro range that goes all the way back to November of 2024. It would be super nice to come down here, because if we're looking at the much larger time frames, and if like we're going to see a super cycle, we saw that 5-wave impulse play out here. We saw a corrective move to the golden pocket. We saw another impulse play out here, taking the highs out and rejecting from the macro value area high. We also called that move ahead of time, guys. There was a naked weekly point of control up there at the value area high. We had this box up there ahead of time. We shorted this box. Actually, I took profit on my long there. And then, but as far as the more macro time frame goes, the bullish case scenario, we could be in a double 1-2 impulse here, with this being all a wave 1, a wave 2, another internal wave 1, and then an internal wave 2 to that golden pocket. And that golden pocket could be the best long for a giant wave 3, and then you get your 4-5, 4-5 to end it. Of course, that would take time. That would take a lot of time to end that impulse, maybe another 6 months or so. But yeah, coming down to this area of support here would be really nice. So far, we're just chopping around this range. We have lost the value area low of this range. And you can see we've spent some significant time below the value area low. So let me clean this up. I'm just going to delete that. We will make sure. Okay, so this value area low of this 6-week long range, 6-7 week long range, we broke down below it, and now we're in the process of backtesting not only the anchored VWAP but the value area low. So we need to be aware that if we reject this general area, then we can expect that move down. This is the general area, and we're in it pretty much right now, coming into it yesterday, and rejecting from that anchored VWAP. I mean, we're getting some nice pushes here, though. Let me see. Is Bitcoin pushing too? Yeah, Bitcoin's pushing. That short squeeze is starting to play out, guys. That short squeeze that we just looked at right at the beginning of the stream. Look at starting to play out here. Now, I believe if we get above the 786, the short squeeze, we could get the very local intraday 786. We can get up to that 115.6 to 115.8 K area of resistance. And that for me would be the interesting part. And especially if we short squeeze up to here, we have our bit 1, 2, 3, 4. And if we short squeeze up to here, then after a short squeeze ends, if you do not have new money coming in to support that short squeeze, to support the push up, then you generally will fall right back down. And so this to me is going to be really important, especially if we come up there in a short squeeze. Hitting into that 786 right now. $786 value area highs close by. Okay, guys. Yeah, we'll do Chainlink for sure. Time attack. Please hit the like button if you get any insight at all out of this video, out of this analysis. Please hit the like button for me. Real quick, I do want to cover the partners of the channel. BYDFI is the main partner of the channel. They are a VPN-free and KYC-free exchange. All you need is an email and a password to sign up. If you do sign up using my affiliate link, you'll get a minimum of 20% discounts on trading fees, but you can also get up to 40% discounts depending on how much you deposit. The more you deposit, the bigger the discount on the trading fees. They'll give you 10%, 10 to 20% discounts or initial deposit bonuses. But if you deposit just $100, you can get a 50% deposit bonus. And if you deposit $100 and sign up with my affiliate link, you can get access to my Telegram community where I do post some of the trade setups and my market analysis. If you're interested in that, link is in the description below. In order to get in, just click on that link. First, deposit the money into the exchange using my affiliate link. click on the link below and then type in /verify and then your user ID, which will be a string of letters and numbers up here, and that'll automatically get you into that Telegram community. Once you're in, and you're good. It's still your money to trade with. You do get the bonus. You get discounts on trading fees. So I do think it's a win-win for everyone. I just get a percentage of your guys' trading fees for signing up. That's total transparency there. Other than that, the next sponsor of the channel, the next partner of the channel is NAMI Trading. NAMI is the momentum and money flow indicator that I use for my entry and exit confirmations on trades, looking at bear divs, looking at money flow. They are running a 50% off special if you use my affiliate link in the description below. Divine50 is that discount code. Both the discount code and the link are in the description. And then lastly, we do have Bybit and MEXC, both very reputable exchanges. They're giving discounts on trading fees and futures trading bonuses, depending on how much volume you move in the futures markets. Okay, that is it for the partners of the channel. Let's get back to the price action here. So yeah, Bitcoin is really starting to squeeze up here. Very interesting. So let's see what we do at this local value area high. But the way we're squeezing right now, I do think that we could continue the squeeze. Very local bear divs on the chart, but money flow looks healthy here. Yeah, I think we're going to continue to squeeze up here. Remember, overall, larger time frame, we back tested the value area low earlier today. So if we pull that range of the last 6.5 weeks, yesterday we were able to reclaim the value area low. We just back tested it and the anchored VWAPs this morning, and now look at, we're starting to impulse here. So highest probability for me is that we're going to come up to this purple box of resistance, 15.6 to about 15.8 or 15.9, let's say. Yeah. And that is a naked weekly point of control, a naked daily point of control, a daily level, the top of the channel, and our 786. A lot of confluence in there. Once we get up there, we'll see if we have local bear divs and intermediate bear divs. And if we do, then that might trigger a short position for me. We might be able to get that live on stream. So we'll see how that plays out here. But it's looking pretty nice. Good morning, Abir. It's good to see you, man. Yeah, Time Attack. BYDFI has made it super easy, and they're a super awesome exchange. I have their order books are great. I've never had a problem with them. Great customer service. My rep is amazing. So yeah, I like them. I like them a lot. Okay, while Bitcoin is doing this, let me just set an alert. I'm going to set an alert near 115.5. So if we come up there, we'll get alerted. And let's go into, so Sui's pushing here. If we can get above this box of resistance, then I do think we're going to come up to this next box. Now, this is not as important now, but it is still your point of control of your range. It's an SFP into like pretty much value area low point of control. They're so close together. So seeing the SFP of this into that and a rejection, it's near the top of the channel. That would probably mean that we're going to continue dumping overall. You could 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, that's a little bit iffy to count this as a wave 2 here. Because we broke market structure bearishly, you do need to look at that golden pocket. But the thing with that golden pocket is we'd be breaking back inside this volume profile. So for me, the key on Sui is if we get back above 344 and not just SFP it into the POC, but if we actually get back above it, that's going to be a bullish sign for me. Let me go on to the weekly real quick. Yeah, we got that. Okay, so our golden pocket might be pretty important, actually. Let's check this out here. Okay, so Yeah, this naked weekly point of control. All right. I'm not going to mark that out quite yet, but look at all the resistance that we have up here. We have a weekly level. We have a naked weekly point of control. Let me get that right on. A daily level. And that's also going to be your golden pocket. I'll explain in just a second. Let me finish marking this out. Yeah, naked daily's up there as well. Gosh, that's a lot of resistance. The naked daily is literally right on top of the daily. Naked daily point of control, naked daily daily level. Okay, so there is a way that we could count this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After a 5-wave impulse completes, you're looking for a corrective move up to the golden pocket. And if we pull that golden pocket from the highs to the lows, look at where our golden pocket's coming in, where all of our resistance is. Naked daily, naked weekly, a daily level, a weekly level, a golden pocket. That is our big area of resistance now. I would even just pull it like this here. 365, like 363 to 368 is your big area. This guy, I'm going to actually delete that box for now. Remember, we could be forming a sideways range underneath your value area low. And what happens oftentimes is you'll come bounce. We grab the liquidity, right? We saw liquidity grab, and then you'll get a little bit of a rise to back test that value area low. If you reject that, you can expect new lows to come in, probably down to 295 to 288. That is at this level of, let me get that on the chart. 344. So if 344 is the first very key level to watch, mark, if you guys want to mark that out on your charts. That is the value area low of our 7-week long range. And if we see a move up there, a kind of a corrective crappy move up there, SFP that and start to fall, that is a sign that we are at the very least forming a range here. But most likely we lost the value area low, immediate back test of it after grabbing liquidity, higher back test of it. If we reject, we're coming down here. Because we, now remember, we had the immediate back test here. Once we rejected, we made new lows. What happened when we made those new lows? We finally took out our liquidity of the lows of this entire descending channel. So after taking the liquidity, that was the important part. We finally took the liquidity. If that was the low, then we would expect to break above it. Even if we reject here, we're going to reject here, come back down, and then continue. If it's the bearish scenario is going to play out, took the liquidity, come back up, bearish backtest, take local liquidity, and then you would drop down to your next level of support. Now, as far as the higher time frames go, I have to say I would like that better, actually, guys. I would like to come down to this level because it's just a major swing failure, a major swing long opportunity if we have that double 1-2 weekly impulse. So I don't know what's going to happen. You know, I'm just looking at the levels now. And actually, let's just delete that. But for me, this area here, 344. And then if you get above 344, you're pretty much going to probably come up to that golden pocket at 365. If you reject from 344, you're coming down to 295. Okay, let's go to Solana real quick. I'm sorry, guys. I'll be a bit quicker on some of these. Solana, we did see that big drop to the one thing with Solana that's a bit bearish for me is, we rejected from the top of the pitchfork after coming up and rejecting from our major level. It was a weekly level and a macro 786 Fibonacci. Now, after hitting into that, we had lost and fallen back inside the pitchfork. And you see here, we have a very big potential impulse down here. And the big thing with that is if we look at from this rejection at 253, clear wave 1, a wave 2, you have a very explosive wave 3 all the way down to $190, $191. We could be in a wave 4 right now. And in your wave 4, you come up between the 382 and the 0.5. I already have it marked out here. And so I'm actually looking for I'm long on Solana right now, but my next take profit is going to be at 216.35. You can see it would be the SFP of these local internal highs, into your 0.5 Fibonacci. And because there's a potential that this hasn't played out yet, 1, 2, 3, well, we don't have a 4 and we don't have a 5, or we're developing a 4, a potential 4, and then a 5 coming down to our golden pocket at 187 would be really nice to see. So on Solana, if we get back above 216, we would have to hit the golden pocket of that retracement to invalidate. So if we hit 222 to 224, that would invalidate this as a 5-wave move down. Because in your 4th wave, you cannot come up to this golden pocket. If you hit that golden pocket, it's going to invalidate this whole thing as a 5-wave impulse down. So we want to reject from 216, or you can wick above it a little bit, but as long as you don't hit that golden pocket, that could be your 4th wave here, an ascending channel on low volume in a 4th wave, and then you would see a 5th wave, maybe even coming down to your purple box at 174, 175. But you do have that golden pocket before then. So for Solana, what I do think, I mean, this push up, it's been a slow, steady grind. And remember, these ascending channels. Actually, I would adjust that. Something like that. We're gonna, if we break the channel, then I would say this move is over. So as long as we stay within this channel, we're good. And I do think we could work our way up to 216. Actually, I think it's probable that we work our way up to 216. Now, as far as larger price action goes, let me hide this. We came down to our macro pitchfork midline. And the thing is with that, we had it, this is still on the charts, but it's no longer, like, we had a daily level down there and a weekly level down there and a naked weekly POC down there. It was at our pitchfork midline. Well, we wick past it a little bit, but you can see after making a low into your golden pocket, this is the log golden pocket, by the way. We made a low into our non-log golden pocket. We pushed up above the midline, back tested it as support now, and then we're continuing up here. So at least very locally, we're either going to do the same thing that Sui's doing and forming a little bottoming range here, grabbing liquidity and seeing now then coming down and grabbing the ranged lows into the golden pocket. Or if we can break above this 216 level and maintain, then I do think that we're going to at least come up to the golden pocket, but probably even higher than that golden. We might come up and make new highs overall. But this golden pocket is still an area of interest because you can see it's inside the pitchfork band. And depending on how quick if we push up there, it's going to be, that 231, 232 level is going to be really important. Okay. So yeah, that was the weekly we hit. I left it on the chart, but now we can delete it because it has been hit. But we do have a new weekly. And the dailies there as well. We have a couple new dailies. A daily just below us that we have not back tested yet. All right, I'm going to mark out these real quick and then we will. Oh, what's up, Mark Dutch? Welcome in. I once put my golden pocket in a socket. Never had to shave again. Oh, man. Hey, that's actually a good life hack because shaving sucks. But welcome in, Mark. It's great to see you, man. Wow, this area up here actually looks pretty good between 238 and 240, let's say, because I think your 786 is going to be up there as well. Yeah, 786 is up near that naked weekly POC and weekly level. We have a fresh naked daily point of control that's going to be at the back test of that pitchfork midline. That will be important if we do come down locally. And then we have the one naked daily that is up of the SFP at 216, that 0.5. You could come up above and still hit 219 and not invalidate by hitting the golden pocket. Remember that golden pocket was at 222. So locally, my scenarios for this, say we do have that ascending channel here. We have this ascending channel, and we could see a fake out into that daily or into the naked daily and then reclaim and then continue. And you could then SFP the highs into the 0.5 and into your naked daily. And then if you break it down, you're going to come take out these lows. But if we can get up to 222, we're going to, I would say we're probably going to work our way. We might see a rejection in like a bit of a range in here, but we might come up to this weekly, naked weekly point of control. We'll keep you updated on that as the price action develops. I make a video every day. I go live 3 times a week. So as we're coming up, we'll talk about that. But this is what I want to turn on. Volume. So you can see here, volume's kind of getting lower and lower and lower as this ascending channel is forming. And that is a sign of a corrective move. What we want in the bullish case scenario, we'd be looking at this as a 1-2, 1-2, and then you want to see your third wave explode soon. And then you'd get your 4-5, 4-5. Coming down a little bit lower to hit that daily would have been nice, to actually hit the daily below us. Okay, let's go to Chainlink real quick. Chainlink was at our resistance box, just being the point of control value area high. So this is actually, guys, what we just talked about for Sui and for Solana just happened with Chainlink. You can see here, you had your little mini range highs. You SFP your range highs here. And if you're going to remain bearish, then you're going to start to lose this ascending channel that we're seeing. So let's pull that ascending channel. There's your ascending channel. We're at the midline of that channel right now. So, and we are rejecting from the value area high after taking liquidity. That was important. Now that we've taken liquidity, I'm going to delete this box now. Now that we've taken liquidity and rejected from the value area high, and it was also your naked daily point of control. Let's delete that now. You could see a breakdown of this channel. If you break that down, then I do think we're going to go lower. But remember, this is our macro value area high. And what we were looking for is a swing long around this 20.6 area. Because let's zoom out again onto the daily time frame. We have our range that goes back to November of 2023, so almost 2-year long range. You broke out of that range. We're back testing that range right now. If it's going to hold, then yes, we're going to work our way up, probably taking out these highs at the very least, with some stops along the way. You might see some stops along the way. But if we fall back inside of this volume profile, we can work our way down to the $18 range or even to the $16 range. For Chainlink, we're at a very high time frame, very, very high time frame level, important support level. And let's be real, guys. Oftentimes on these major back tests of major range breakouts, like this is the back test of that major 2 year long range breakout. You don't do this. You don't come down, back test it, and then go right away. What happens is you come down here, you chop around for a bit. The markets decide whether it's going to hold, and if it is, you'll see a little mini accumulation range in here, and then you break that range up and you see expansion. If it's not going to hold, then generally you'll see the break through it, a lower high, and then a little bit of a range and a dump. So either way, a range forms in here, and that's exactly what's happening. So the market for Chainlink is acting very healthy right now. And with this healthy range that is forming, I personally think we are going to hold it and continue pushing up. But we do have to just be aware there is the bearish case scenario as well. I mean, look at these divs here that we saw, though. 4-hour bull divs. Now money flow is curving to the upside here very nicely. And on NAMI, money flows curving to the upside. Multiple drives of bull divs here. Well, multiple drives here. And then these are now trigger waves that we're seeing. Nice trigger waves. I like Chainlink to continue pushing higher. We really have to watch this area up here. Naked daily point of control. The range point of control of the range that we broke down from. And let's actually pull that range back. Yeah. Okay. So that was our range that we broke down from. You could even extend it all the way, include that. Either way, that POC at that golden pocket is what is important, that 23.6 area. And then, of course, your naked dailies in there as well. Now, very, very locally, if we do break this ascending channel down, let's pull our golden pocket from the lows to the highs. Look at where your golden pocket's coming in, guys. At the back test, again, of the macro value area high at 20.6. So locally for support, this area could be your really big area. You'd probably want to reject, lose that, come down here, see the fake out of the channel, hold that, and then you would want to get above the value area high of this range. 20.6 to 20.76 is an area where I would be interested in looking for a long. And why now? Why now? Not because remember, when we first came down here, I told you I wasn't longing this. Why? Because market structure was bearish. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Well, what did we just do by taking out these range highs the other day? We took out these range highs. That's a market structure break. Even though it's only an SFP, it's a market structure break. So now we could be done with the downtrend, and we could be switching this to a higher high, higher low, and then we're going to create another higher high, reversing that trend. And of course, you get that range that forms at the reverse of the trend, right? So that is why now we can be interested in this golden pocket long at the macro value area high. Okay, that was Chainlink. Let me check Bitcoin real quick, and then we'll go into Portal. Rejecting a little bit the value area high of our intraday range. But if this is going to remain bullish, we're going to want to see that POC hold. Let's look at. Yeah, so look at how much of a short squeeze that was now. That was a short squeeze up there because we were building bullish absorption. And then once we start to reject, we start to have some of those shorts get squeezed out. That is that push up. And that's why we were rising here as well in the open interest. So we need new money to step in right now. We need this open interest to start curving up like it's about to, and we need it to be long positions. So we want to see this happen, and then that would cause this to happen. Okay, let me check the chat here. Arping, thanks, man. Have a good day. Peter, what's up, dude? It's good to see you in here. I got a shorting target for you, 115,300. Okay. I'm looking just a little bit higher because at 115,600, we do have that naked daily point of control. And at 115,800, we have a naked weekly point of control. So actually, yeah, 115,800, 850 is that naked weekly point of control. Oh, naked daily. Okay. Did I mix them up? Maybe they're the same level. Yeah. So you see that 115,800 naked weekly point of control, your 786 in the top of your channel. There's also a daily level right in there at pretty much 115,750 ish. Yeah, 115,750 ish. So that is my area of resistance. Now at 115.3, yeah, I think we had some liquidity coming up into there. And this is another reason why we're more likely to continue rising. But look at guys, you would end taking all the liquidity right around 115.8, 115.7, 115.8. So just be aware that we have liquidity very close to us, and coming up into this high there would be really nice to see. Now, if you've got another reason for 115.3, that's all good. You know, like if we come up there, just look, you know, it's also, let's do the range up here. Yeah, we have the point of control of this small range though. So 115.3, okay. Not sure if you're looking at an EMA or what you're looking at there, but I want just a little bit higher. My car fund also likes Chainlink pushing higher. Yeah, Time Attack, I have been buying more and more Chainlink. Chainlink and a couple other ones in this correction that we saw, you know, the correction down to $15 and $12. I was buying a lot down here. Where was it? It was here in this little area here. Oop. And now that we've broken out of the value area high, we can really start to push up here. I know this chart looks messy as heck, guys, so sorry about that. Tim with Dick. Machi HK, man, welcome in. It's good to see you. I think October will start with a mega dump and then reverse from the last alt reverse and form the last Machi HK. That's exactly what I'm thinking too. You know, it would be really crazy if we're looking at that larger WXY correction. You know, in here we get that bigger WXY correction, and you could even come down to 98.6 to our macro point of control, macro range point of control, the 2025 point of control here at 96.5. And if we look at that trend-based Fibonacci extinction, that's where your 1.236 is. So, but I really don't want to lose 105K, but we could even do this, a big corrective move down to this area. Everyone thinks the bear market's in, you know, maybe it's October 10th, 11th or something like that. We're coming down here, bounce, and then get one more all-time high, wreck the people that just shorted thinking the bear market was starting. And then now once they break the highs, they think, oh wait, we do have the mega cycle. They're going to long up here. And then guess what? Mega dump. So I like that thinking a lot too, Mach HK. To me, 105 is important. 105, 106, because that anchored VWAP that has not been tested on Coinbase is there. And if we're going to maintain the overall bullish momentum, that would be nice to see. Okay, where was that? You're still holding the ETH short from 4.6. Nice, dude. Very nice. Now, I would have taken some profit on that when you hit that macro 382. when you hit this 38.69, I would have at least taken some profit knowing that your 3-wave corrective move is between the 0.382 or to the 0.5, but I would still be holding some just in case we're going to continue here. And this overall WXY is not done, and your Y is going to come down to 3,500. But inside your Y, you're going to see that A, B, C to finish it. You know, in the Y, you'll see a 3-wave zigzag move in the Y wave. Yes, don't forget to hit the like. Thank you, Mark Dutch. I appreciate that. Hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel, guys. If you get any insight into the markets from these streams or from the videos, please do that. I was here listening, but working 200K end of October. Man, I just don't see it. I'm sorry. Even if we're gonna make a continue in this bull cycle, 200K is too high, man. Now, if it happens, that would be great. You know, I wouldn't be against that, but as far as technicals go, it's just not likely. Yep, 91K, then 135. Yeah, 135 is a very, very interesting area. And remember, we have, let me go back to Bitcoin here. Actually, we will stick on this chart. And let me turn on that fib channel. So another reason, guys, why I'm looking at this 105 to 106K area, because it's our fib channel midline. And let me zoom out onto the 3-day chart. This fib channel has been respected this entire bull market for every major swing position. You know, it was pulled from this low to this high to this low. And since then, hit into the top of the channel, get a $12,000 dump to the midline, bounce from the midline, come up to the 1.618, get a multi-$1,000 drop to hit the top of the channel, lower high, 618, top of the channel, midline, 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 you know, and then but look at this midline held here, held through all of here, held through here. So if we come down to 105K, 105, 106K, that midline once again is going to be important to maintain. Really, you could even come down to the bottom of the channel. If you break 86, 87, 91, that's when you're in trouble. We don't know what it's going to, because obviously this is a dynamic support that changes with time. It gets higher and higher as more time passes. But if we break the bottom of this pink, that's when the bear market to me is started. This is your bull market trend. If you break it right there, bear market. What I can say here is this range up here, it does look kind of like a topping range, right? You have your left shoulder, head, right shoulder, or whatever you want to say, this upper range in here. But what we could be doing is forming a bigger distribution range. So look at, this could be your left shoulder. This could be your head. We could see that 3-wave corrective move down to 105. And then you could get the push up and make a right shoulder, creating a bigger range in here. Or you can even get the Model 1 distribution, which would be tap 1, tap 2, and then tap 3. One more new all-time high for a tap 3 on larger time frames. I mean, actually, this guy in here too is kind of sus. T. Let's see. Portal. Okay. Portal. I'm just going to cover this one quickly. I mean, you are bottoming out here. You have your bottoming range. Nothing really has changed. You know, we grabbed the liquidity internally. We did break market structure bearishly, but now we're dropping again. We've lost the golden pocket. We're at our support level that we marked out. being the value area low in the 786. Doesn't look too good though, because we don't really have nice. Let's zoom out onto higher time frames. Yeah, money flow looks like garbage. Now you do have some bull divs already confirmed, and more potentially. You can see here lower lows, 3 lower lows here, higher lows here, but that money flow is going to overpower it. Now on NAMI, the money flow's already started curving up, and remember, NAMI is faster. If you hit, so let's pull that fib again. And remember, that's more than a 100% move. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at that 786, and we're going to put this on based off log scale. And we're hitting into the 786 right now, which is the bottom of the box that we marked out. From the value area low to 786 is what we were looking at. If you're going to maintain, remember, because we broke market structure bullishly, right? That was the box. Because we broke market structure bullishly by taking out these highs, that's a bullish break in market structure. Now you can look for a higher low before making a higher high. It is only an SFP, and really, it would have been best to break like this guy up here. Yeah, it doesn't look too good to me. Let's throw on that descending channel. So if we look at a descending channel here, ugh. Yeah, we're not seeing too much as far as bull divs here. You'd want to see bull divs actually hitting into that 786. Now, we are bouncing from the 786, don't get me wrong. And even locally in here, this descending channel, if this breaks, if that breaks, then you're going to see you're bouncing from the midline of that smaller descending channel. Then you could get a bigger move up. But you're below the value area low right now. And the value area low is going to kind of be near the top of the channel. Small channel, excuse me. One, two, 1, 2. There's your big third wave. 4, 5, 4, 5. So it could be done, and then you could start to change. To me, we're not really seeing much bull divs anywhere. No 15-minute bull divs. No 1-hour bull divs locally. No bull divs. No bull divs. Four-hour is starting to develop some bull divs. Not on NAMI. On Market Cipher, 4-hour has bull divs. Let's just say this: you're at your support level. If it's going to hold, then you need to first and foremost reclaim that 36-cent area, the value area low at 35.90. Let's say 35.90. If you get back above that, then yeah, you could see a bigger move up. Okay, let me check the chat here. Yeah, but big deals. 91K is absolutely a possibility, because that's where the bottom of the big fib channel is. Still holding my short for 120. Okay, cool. Small move up, everyone. Yay, pumped over. Yeah, alt season is here, then a dump to 98K. It's over. Bear market's here, followed by a massive pump in November. Yeah, and Mark Dutch, we always pump in November, and then like towards the end of November or December is when we top out too. So, and as far as the 4-year cycle goes, that kind of makes sense. I think that Bitcoin does have one more new all-time high. But is the thing is, are we going to come down and take out 107.2 first? That's my only question. Like, and for me, that's a little bit probable that we're going to see a WX is in, and then we're going to see an A, B, C, and a Y to come down, and then start one more new all-time high, and then bear market straight to zero. Gold will crash next week. Okay. You heard it here first. Thank me later. Yeah, Mark Dutch, you should make a channel, man. I don't know if you actually have a channel or not, but or if you're into streaming at all. But you should make a channel because you are God, you got to be a good trader with how much you're always in the best of the best live streams, and I know you're picking up information from them, just like I learned a lot from watching live streams. I know you have too. Okay, I've always said 35, 45 is the ultimate bottom. Yeah, um, 35 to 45 would be a really good ultimate, especially 35. Like that is, you know, let's just in a crazy situation, like for whatever reason, we do come all the way down to the golden pocket. Now, remember, that's more than a 100% move to the upside. So you have to take this golden pocket and if you're on log scale, fibs based off log scale, that's going to give you a proper 61.8% retrace. 35, 34 to 32, I mean. And where is that? That's the most important support resistance flip of the last 5 years. Support, 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 resistance, resistance, resistance. So if you come down here, if we do, that's where you sell your house. Buy as much as you can. Even if you create a lower high and something happens with Bitcoin where it's no longer useful or hacked or whatever. But I do think this range in here, 2024 reaccumulation range here that BlackRock, all the spot ETFs, the big institutions were buying as we were forming this, I do think they're going to try to defend this area. So if we do something like come down, hit into the bottom of that area, I think they're going to try to defend it as well. Yeah, macroeconomics is very important, PJR. And if any of you guys were around in 2021, you know how important macroeconomics is because when the Fed decides to cut rates or mess with interest rates, it really does cause the market to panic or to, uncertainty. They hate uncertainty. Machi HK, I mean, Mark Dutch, you don't need to put your camera on for a channel. Never say that at a swingers club. But I am open to anything. Yeah, never say that at a swingers club. Yeah, we'll check Ada here. And Roy, absolutely. Roy. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. Yeah, he is the mod of every channel. What if BTC drops to low 112Ks? Would you think that will mean 114K was the top of this run? No, actually, we just talked about this earlier in the stream. Let me go back. Let's just do the hourly chart here. And 112. So that, what was I just looking at? That was there 111K, around 111K was a local area of support that I was watching. I mean, I think that you could still drop down there. Okay, we bounced from that value area high and the value area high low there. Um, it was the golden pocket. So if you pull like if this is a 5-wave move, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're gonna come up to the 786, a five wave move. then you're going to pull your golden pocket from the lows to the highs. And let's just say we're putting it in the middle of the box, right? That 111K, because this was a 5-wave impulse, and because you broke market structure bullishly by taking out these highs, which we've already done, right? So that means it's a bullish break in market structure. Because of that, and because this was a 5-wave impulse, now you have the potential for now coming down to that golden pocket, bouncing, and then creating another higher high. So higher high, higher low, higher high type of thing. So not necessarily we could come out. Now, if we come down there first before we come up here, it's not going to look good. I would say that probably means this is a 3-wave corrective move, very aggressive 3-wave corrective move. You might get a flat correction in here, and then you could get an impulse down. Okay, ADA. Let's look at ADA. It's been a while since I've looked at Cardano. Oh, here right now, I can just tell you on the hourly chart, this looks like a little nice bottoming range that we're seeing. Look at this. Bull divs here, money flow curving to the upside here. I mean, that looks like a little nice bottoming range for ADA. Yeah, bull divs here. We still didn't hit that weekly. Okay, so we have a weekly up here. And then we have that weekly down below us, right where the daily is. We did reject from our resistance box, which was the value area high. So you see this macro range that goes back to November of 2024. So almost a year-long range here. We rejected from value area high. And because we have broken market structure bearishly, we could probably expect to move down to this POC. We'll look at where it's at the POC. We have a daily level and a weekly level down there. Okay, so let's check this out. Okay, that's your bigger range. And then I would even look at this range here, this kind of topping range. You're at the value area low and you're trying to reclaim the value area low right now. We might see a bit of a push up because we have some nice, money flow looks pretty bullish here. Curving to the upside on Market Cipher B and on NAMI. But I would expect some sort of lower high before coming down to hit this weekly and point of control. Let's check out some of these levels. Okay, so no naked monthlies anywhere around here except for up here. We have a naked monthly and a naked weekly. Yeah, we have a fresh naked weekly point of control just above us. So be aware that we could just come up to this naked weekly point of control at 82.29 or 82.30, which is also your range point of control of your couple month long range. Yeah, naked daily and a naked weekly point of control at your range point of control. So just above us is pretty extensive volume resistance at 82, like 82.2. Let's say that. The big thing is from the top here, the rejection from the value area high. This could all be, well, let's see, one, two. I mean, there's too much overlap in there. So this could be considered a same kind of thing, a three-wave corrective move and a W. You have your X here, and then you would be getting three, four, five. No, that doesn't look good. But that from this lower high, you could be looking at a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a 5 to finish in an impulse down, coming down to that big, massive point of control in confluence with the weekly and the daily. So let's look at if we pull a Fibonacci from the highs of wave 3 to the lows of wave 3, and we turn on those wave 4 targets. Yeah. Okay. So that makes perfect sense. So if this is a 5-wave impulse down, this was our wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. Now your wave 4 comes between the 382 and the 0.5. So to see this thing kind of curve up here and hit that 382, which is also where your volume resistance is, reject from there, and then see one more push down in a wave 5 to hit the other point of control and the weekly and the daily. So I'm going to do this. We set alerts here. So this is potential short at 82.2, and then down here at the weekly, you could look for a long. Long opportunity. Okay. That's what I'd be looking at with ADA. Now, yes, you can trade smaller intraday stuff as well. This bigger range here, you have the major levels. We're reclaiming the value area low today, it looks like. So you can see here. Where did that go? Got back above the value area low, back testing it. So because we back tested it and held it earlier today, it's likely that we do come up at least to that 82.2 to 82.5. And then from there, it would be really interesting to see what happens from there. On the 1 hour, let's pull that small range and see where. Now, I'm not going to include that big crash wick here. But yeah, that's your point of control in your value area high as well. You're bouncing from the value area low of your hourly long range. So very highly probable that we come up to 82.2. But if you come up there, be very careful because we could be seeing that corrective move, a dead cat bounce in this ascending channel, and then the dump down to 72.1. 72.1. Yeah. Okay, let's check Bitcoin. It looks like some of the alts are pumping a little bit locally here, and Bitcoin is trying to pump as well. ADA, man, ADA does look nice for a push up there. I mean, I have to say, 82.2 on ADA. Go back to that. Yeah, 82.24. I just want to check Ethereum here. Yeah, and Ethereum as well, because we're holding the back test of that pitchfork band. I mean, that's nice there, guys. That's nice. Locally, on Bitcoin locally, we held the back test of the value area low. We're pushing up. On Ethereum, we held the back test of the pitchfork band, the bottom of the pitchfork band. We're pushing up. Oh, let's check BNB too. BNB is so BNB did reject from that lower high golden pocket after taking out our liquidity. You can see here SFP around the golden pocket, and now we're dropping here. Man, I still think for BNB, I mean, this was a very clear three-wave corrective move. Three-wave corrective move. You bounce from your pitchfork midline, a macro pitchfork midline, by the way. Like this thing is very, very nice. Pitchfork midline. You can see resistance, break above it, back test it. We're rejecting from that local golden pocket. And because we did break market structure bearishly by taking out these lows or even these lows, you now have to look for the rejection from the golden pocket. So we are potentially continuing bearish market structure. And what we would want to see here is you have your big three-wave corrective move in a W, you have your three-wave corrective move in an X, and then we would want to see a bigger three-wave corrective move in a Y, potentially coming down a little bit further here. Of course, you're going to get some small zigzags in here, zigzags, and stuff like that. So, but I do think BNB has been one of the most bullish, and because we'd front run that like 1125 to like like 1150-ish level, man, I just think that if we can start to form a range around here, even if we wick a little bit past it, reclaim, grab liquidity, reclaim this area here after grabbing liquidity. Yes, you could take the actual SFP, but say you get back above that pitchfork midline, that for me is going to be a long from like 950 to 1,150. All right, let me check the chat here. Hard to tell. I'm interested 3 times. No, I actually lost my Discord account. Mark, who you lost your Discord account because of a woman in some community? That really sucks, dude. Also, she tried to kick me out of other creators' YouTubes and discount. Man, women, right? Ada ain't doing anything. Well, Mac, Ada was pumping a little bit locally. I think 82.2 is probable. 82.3. 82.2 to 82.3. OOVP. Okay, we'll look at. I've looked at it once before. I would just say this looks like an impulse down. Look at, first of all, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3-wave corrective move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, that doesn't look like it could be done yet. The wave 3. So if this is a bigger wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. So maybe the wave 3 is done. That's going to be this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now let's pull a fib from the highs to the lows. Let's make sure that's on log scale. Yeah, and between the 382 and the 0.5, what I would say here is this high was not made after this low, so you haven't hit the 382 yet. Let's mark out that weekly. Was that hit? Yes, that was hit. Okay. Weekly money flow starting to come out again. Not looking too good. Daily. I mean, you are starting to form a bottom here on the daily time frame, a bottoming range. But because of the larger Elliott structure, you might get one more low put in. You're around the value area low. Rejection from value area high. So you could just play this if you're looking at, oh wait, what, OOVP. I don't see that chart. OOVP. Yeah, let me know, Gincho, if that was a mistype typo or if there was something else there. OVPP. Okay. Okay, MEXC. Okay, it's a newer coin. Man, there's not much to look at here. I mean, you pretty much came down to all-time lows. And then you rejected Golden Pocket, but you'd front run it. At least on MEXC, you'd front run it. Money flows coming out. Yeah, money flows coming out. No bull divs. Now, bull divs on NAMI, but that might just push you up to hit this VWAP and then reject from the VWAP. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So maybe pull a fib from the lows to the highs here and look at that non-log golden pocket. I would be looking at that area 68 to 71 or 068 to 071. You could bounce from here. Actually, that's not even we still need to turn that on log as well. Yeah, 5.5 to 5.7. Yeah, that would be so you reject right now from the VWAP and you start to break down. Like if you do this, you reject from VWAP and start to lose that low. It's a high probability that you continue down to this golden pocket, and that's going to be your pitchfork midline. Now from there, you could definitely look at taking a long, but be aware that it could just be another lower high before creating another lower low. I have no idea what this is. Yeah, you're below the value area low of this upper range. So if you reject right now from VWAP or even come a little bit higher and reject from value area low at 945, then I think you could continue breaking down on this thing. Okay, let me check. Yeah, AVAX. Man, I wish AVAX would have came a little bit lower, but I think AVAX the accumulation breakout, man. Uh yep, okay. Sound is really low. Is the sound low or was I away from the mic for a bit? Oh shoot. Okay. How's that sound now? Is the sound a little bit better? AVAX. Yep. So I'm watching for the rejection from 33 on AVAX. You know what would actually be nice is to reject from 33 and then come down to 26. Just creating this overall range above the accumulation breakout range, right? You have this little accumulation breakout. This was your accumulation. Break out of it, reject, back test. That would be nice. But if we can get above, it looks like we're attempting right now to get above the POC of our local range, our smaller local range. And if we get above that POC, it's a straight shot up. There's nothing in here. Look at this. Nothing in here to keep us from pushing up to that golden pocket value area high. So yeah, AVAX does look nice. Be careful though, guys, because this does look a little bit bear flaggy, and I don't trade bear flags, but um, the fact of the matter is that we did break market structure bearishly, and then this could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I would watch for the local SFP of yesterday's high. And if you don't do that, you're coming up to 33. Let's pull up fib. Highs of wave 3 to the lows of wave 3. We'll turn on our wave 4 targets. Okay, yeah. I mean, coming up to that 0.5. See how we front ran that 0.5? So coming up, SFPing yesterday's highs into the 0.5, that would give you this a 1, 2, 3. Of course, your 4 is always longer than your 2, and then a 5 coming down to 26. The one issue again with that, guys, is this is a 3-wave move, and you want a 5-wave move down in your wave 1. That's a major issue, so I don't know. Maybe we're looking at a more complex correction here. Yeah, you can't look at this as an impulse down because of that. Ooh, what was that? That's the channel. And then look at, if we keep grinding in that channel for a bit, say we reject here, come down, bounce here to the top of the channel, you could at least see a move down to the bottom of the channel. And then if that breaks, okay, let's see. I've got to go soon here, guys, but let me see. Where was that? Okay, we did OOP pump. Let me look at pump real quick. Pump USDT. Oh, well, I mean, this actually looks pretty nice as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You, it looks like you could get one more high. Let's check this trend-based Fibonacci extinction. 1.618, but let's put that on log scale or off log scale. So yeah, you've broken your 1.618 on this potential third wave, so it makes it more probable that it's an impulse. Yeah, you rejected from your 2 Fibonacci level. So because of that, now we can pull our fib from the lows of wave 3 to the highs of wave 3, and we want to look between the 0.382 and the 0.5, but we need to put that on log scales. So let's do that. And you bounce from your 0.5. So this is following perfectly. Wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4. Now you have a higher probability to come up in a wave 5, and we can even look at our wave 5 targets by pulling from the highs of 4 to the lows of 4. Let's throw on those 5th wave targets, and let's put that on log scale. So coming up to like, here, let me delete these other ones now. Coming up to this area here between 010 and 013. generally that 1.618 gets hit. That's on the daily time frame coming up there. I mean, look how perfect that bounce was from the 0.5 and a perfect rejection from the 2 fib level as well. If you pull that trend-based Fibonacci extinction, lows, highs to lows, perfect rejection from the 2.0 fib. Then you get that push down. Ooh, but this doesn't, I mean, like 1, 2, 1, 2. Hold on. From here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That, I don't like that. So let's look at a bearish case scenario. Let's pull a fib. Yeah. Okay, so I would watch this golden pocket here. In a bearish case scenario, you're going to reject from this general area. There's probably a naked daily point of control up there. Yep, naked daily point of control up there. So be aware that you could reject in a bearish case scenario coming up to 0.07114-ish, rejecting from that, because this could be a impulse down, corrective move up before another push down here. But in a bullish case scenario, which I do have to say, this does look pretty nice as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming up here. So maybe if you're long already, a TP1 just to secure would be this golden pocket. And if you break it and flip it, then you can expect to come up at least to this general area. Okay. That was pump. And then let's see. Guys, I'm sorry. Some of the reason why the sound is always low too, because I have my mic sitting right in front of my face, but I turn my head sometimes too much. I should be putting the mic more over here. Okay, sound is fine. Okay, cool. Okay, RHM, we'll check Aptos. Man, you know what? This does look super nice though on the weekly. It looks like it could be a nice accumulation. So look at, like, you see these, this could be super nice here. Money flows coming to the upside. With Aptos, let's do this. We hit that weekly too last week or on Monday. Yeah. Beautiful. So your daily range, I would be looking at this range here. And let's actually check that from here. Yeah, okay, so that's your daily range you should be looking at. I mean, Aptos overall, look at this. Multiple drives of bull div on the daily with your money flow coming to the upside, about to cross into the green here. You just hit that weekly. That last, let's throw it on the chart real quick. So this was your weekly. Let's see when we hit it. Let's go now back to the daily. Yeah, look at that. You just bounced from your weekly level on last Friday, on Friday. So very nice bounce. You're back inside your volume profile after bouncing from the weekly level. So that looks pretty good. And I mean, your next naked weekly point of control is way up at $6. Okay, I like this naked daily right here because look at we have 1, 2, 3, 4 semi-equal highs right into that naked daily point of control at 482. And let's pull a fib from our last big high to that low. Ooh, okay. So that golden pocket's a little bit too high. Yeah. So first off, this golden pocket at your range POC, your daily range POC, that's a TP for me for sure. If you're long, like right now, earlier today, you could have longed the back test of this value area low. You can see here, bounced from the weekly, got inside the volume profile, back tested it. Now we're rising, so we might rise up to this golden pocket here at 471. Now you could reject from that because that's your macro POC, and then you could come take this low. I mean, tap 1, tap 2, this could have been tap 3 and a model 2 accumulation. But you might, if you reject here, you might come down for a model 1 and grab this low now. Tap 1, tap 2, tap 3. But you look like you're in accumulation here on Aptos, and you're near the lows. Like, this looks really nice on spot buy. But yeah, okay, so let's put on, if we look at this golden pocket and we look at your 786 and naked daily is going to be kind of close together. Man, I just don't like how this naked daily it's a little bit too far above this golden pocket here. But I do like the internal liquidity that is sitting into that naked daily. Yeah, we've already come up and hit that golden pocket. Okay, so now that that's been hit, we can look at from the next lower lower high to the low. And of course, this golden pocket here. So this golden pocket has a daily level at it. I would be watching two levels. For this one, like 471 is a local resistance area. And then if you get above 471, I would be looking to come up to this $5 and $4, $5.05 area. And then of course above that, your 786 weekly value area high. Actually, yeah. Now that naked daily, you should always keep that on your chart because that's a volume level of resistance, which is very nice to see. And because we have that internal liquidity resting above it. But this thing looks good. Look at just crossing into the green on the daily, multiple bull divs. You have your bull divs here, but even from here, bull divs, and your money flow has been coming up ever since that last big low. Money flow is coming to the upside on the daily. So this actually looks really good for spot. Thank you, Mark Dutch. Is there any other way to see spot buy with exchanges other than Velo? ZC, I'm not sure on that. I'm not the right person to ask on that. But guys, I do got to get going. Looks like Bitcoin is seeing a little bit of a local pump here. I think we are going to come up to that 115.8K area of resistance. We might. Yeah, we're fighting the value area high a little bit of this very intraday range. But to me, it's likely that we come up here. 786, top of the channel, naked daily, naked weekly POC. And then if we get bear dips from there, like see if we do this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming up here, and then we get something like this, continued bearish divs, money flow bear divs on NAMI. Okay, you guys have a good one. I will be streaming Wednesday, not Wednesday, Thursday, same time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you all. Please hit the like button on your way out if you got